think they would like, how many of you think they would like to change their job because they're not happy in their job? And how many of you think, yeah, but maybe if I go to another company, it's just going to be the same thing, just in another company. And how many have a family and they need to have a job, but they're not happy, and they somehow know, okay, something needs to change, but I don't know where to start. Do I start with solving my home situation, my money situation, my job situation? And what if this continues for 20 more, 30 more years? Are you going to survive? Or what are you going to do about it? So we are talking about all these topics today with Christelle and me, and I'm very happy to be here together with you. Christelle, I'm going to ask you something first.
I wanted to ask you something first.
Okay, you go ahead. I did the introduction.
Okay. So my question, and then you are going to explain a little bit about you, but why did you decide to change at one point? So you decided to change your life at one point, you decided to change your career. Why did you decide that? Can you give us 3 reasons why you had that in mind?
Yes, it was a process that took me a couple of years, but it was always going around the same topics. It was, I don't want to be a lawyer. I was working as a lawyer until the end of my career. I don't want to be a lawyer forever, so I need to have something else. Secondly, I also didn't want to go to an office or to a job where all the time people tell me what to do and where I cannot just do what I feel like doing. So that was the second thing. And thirdly, from a private life perspective, I also wanted to have a family and still have enough income. So I somehow needed to find a solution for my life. And I was reading for a couple of years there where I work what I want and when I want and where I want, where I can have a family and where nobody's telling me what to do. That's pretty much of a tough thing when you're in your mid-30s and you're like, how can I get all that? And I was really suffering because I wanted it.
Okay, so it was all about having your freedom, being able to do what you do when you want to do it, and being able to support financially your family.
Totally. Support, and even also be not just supporting, because some women think like they support the family, but also just really be able to stand for myself financially and, if need be, also for my family. Yes. And how was it for you? What were your 3 big triggers why you changed from being an engineer to being a very successful coach now?
So for me, it was all about me, because I was already, I had already 2-3 children as I decided to change my career, and I was losing myself. I was losing my relationship with my husband. So it was not, I thought, okay, if you continue like that, it's not going to last long. And I wasn't the mother I wanted to be for my children. So it's really the 3 reasons. And the biggest why, so really the thing that let me push every time I thought it was too difficult, it's because of my children. I wanted to be a role model for my children. And one of my value, it's like you, it's really like freedom and believing that everything is possible. And I was like, well, if I stay in my well-paid job, but I don't really like, it was a nice job, but it was not really the values I was fighting for. And I am a little bit like you. I don't like that someone tells me what I have to do. So I was, okay, if I cannot stay there and then teach my children to believe in their dreams and to fight for their dreams, it's just not compatible. It's not possible.
Yes.
So I have to jump. I have to do it myself.
Yeah. So you had 3 big motivators. One is also freedom. And then to somehow save your relationship with your husband, which is a big thing. And I think there are many people out there that would like to have a happier relationship. There's more trust and just more love and just more easiness there. Yeah. And third thing, the career, not like giving up the career to be a role model for the children, because I think it's fantastic. Actually, we cannot tell the children, yes, believe in your dreams, but we don't do it ourselves.
No.
It's just not true. And children are able to smell these discrepancies very easily.
Exactly.
Okay, wow. And so this is how you did it. It's fantastic. And I think many people can relate to that out there.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing is really, what from my perspective, at one point to say, look, it cannot go on like that. And if the surroundings does not change, I need to change. It's a painful point. What was your biggest thing to pull you out of that pain of like, it cannot go on like that?
Well, for me, it was just, the thing is that it was so deep that I couldn't continue like that. It was just not possible. I couldn't. So I am kind of achiever. I like to have results. I like to achieve things. I like to have an impact in what I do. And at one moment, it was just like, it was really, really, really difficult to stand up in the morning. It's really like to have 1 foot out of the bed. It was really difficult. And then I could be concentrated during the morning, but the afternoon was difficult. And then I really, I wasn't really happy to have my children back because they were really small. At that time I had two children between like 2 years old and 3 months old or something like that. And so it was just not possible to continue this way. And I was sure that, there is this, you are there. And then if you continue to do exactly the same, it's not staying like that. It's just going down. And though I knew that if I had to continue like that, it would be even more complicated to come back to normal and to go to a better life. So that's why at that moment, I thought I have to do that right now, because in a few months, I'm not even sure that I'm going to have enough energy to do that.
Okay, a tough moment, but yeah, it's cool that you realized it. Yeah. And I think that because we've talked about this a bit in the past, or so we've been knowing each other for quite some years now, and we've gone through many challenges together already, business-wise as well as private. So the thing is really to make up the mind and say, look, I need to act now. I need to do something now, because the more I wait, I'm just going to lose energy. I'm going to lose time. And it's not going to get any better by itself.
Exactly. And it's what I wanted to say. It's not going to be better. There is no right moment to start something new anyway. So later, because the children are bigger, it's not a better moment. Later, because you are going to have eventually more money, it's not the right moment. Later, because you never know anyway. So at that moment, my children were small. My husband wasn't really happy with the idea that I would change my job. We were overwhelmed with everything we had to do anyway. And I was traveling 50% of my time. Oof. On top of that, and worldwide, not only in Europe. So it wasn't the right time anyway, but there is no good time. Yes. The best time is now, let's say. Yes. Let's put that this way. Yeah.
I agree, actually, because as I started doing real estate and so on, and also starting doing my own business, you're never ready for something until you do it. Because if you wait until you're ready for changing the career, or taking better care of your finances, or trying to fix your relationship, if you wait until you're ready, you're just losing time. It's like as if you would say, I want to have a really nice belly. And once I have a nice belly, I start going to the gym. But that's not how it works. You need to start going to the gym, and then you start getting the results.
Yeah.
So the waiting is just not a good advice.
Yeah. So that means that first you have to want to change. That's the first thing. Secondly, you have to know what to do, in which direction you want to do, and how was it, Anja, that you moved to being a lawyer and to real estate? Why did you choose this path?
That's a good question. Basically, I really wanted to make money independently of my working time.
Okay.
And I was assessing a couple of different types of investment. I was looking into shares, into stuff like gold and so on. And real estate just really caught my attraction, because that's the only one where you can actually benefit from the fact that you can borrow money from the bank to make it work for you. Nobody's going to give you money so you can buy shares, but banks give you money to buy real estate. And with this, you have a leverage effect that you can use for yourself. And from my lawyer's job, I was used to pretty big numbers, because I was working in a company where we had to deal with very big contracts. And just to realize that if I do big numbers, or it can be also a lot of responsibility in a job, I can do the same thing privately. It's like I already have the skills. I just need to use it in the private life.
Yeah, to do a transfer.
Just to transfer basically a skill set that we already have and just use it in our private world. And women can do that. And it's amazing what you can achieve with real estate that basically, in my opinion, you cannot achieve in the same amount of time with any other asset class. And I just love that. And I don't know, maybe I just love big numbers, and that helped me. And I was not afraid of contracts or stuff like that. So that just helped me maybe to make that shift. And I really saw like how it changed my life and my finances. And I thought it would be just a good idea if more women know about it, just simply because I think there are many women out there like me that are unhappy in their job, but they need to make money. They want to have children. But what about part-time? What about the pension? What if something is wrong with the partner? There's so many problems on the ladies' minds. And if you have one of these problems fixed, which is income without investing time, that's just a solution to many of these problems.
Well, you have more free space to deal with other problems, right? Yeah. And you have more freedom to choose really what you want and not what you should or what you need to.
Yeah.
So if you have to explain what did you do this morning? How was your morning? Because normally you should have been in your office, right? As a lawyer, 8 o'clock, I assume. I don't know.
Yes. Actually, this morning, as an exception, I had a very early start as well, because I had a couple of clients that are about to acquire a real estate. And there's some paperwork that needs to be sorted out and some last questions and details. So I was doing a couple of phone calls to explain stuff. And that's what I did this morning. But the nice thing is that, in my lawyer's job, it was just, I made a contract and nobody ever cared about it. But now, I help people to buy a flat, start an investment, and really that makes a big change in their life. And they will benefit from this for years, maybe for their whole life, or even maybe still their children. And that's very powerful. And I'm very happy about this, that I can help people with the skills that I happen to have. So I really like that. But I also would like to know more about what you do, because I've heard some great stuff about you lately from a couple of customers that I also know that were in your program. When you now help parents to get also their life sorted in the same way that you got out of the situation that you were in a couple of years ago, what is the typical kind of result that your customers get when they work with you?
That's a good question. So what I have done indeed is that I took my experience. So 10 years ago, I really felt in prison, and now I feel free. And last year we had lockdown. I had my 3 children at home full time, my husband as well. So his desk is over there. And I was like, oh my God, so we are completely stuck at home with homeschooling, a lot of work for me, for my husband. And I felt great. And I was like, okay, that's strange. That's strange because it was really a lot to do. And I was thinking, being as an engineer, I would have been in burnout after 2 days. And then I asked myself, okay, what did I do during these 10 years to change that? And I put the program together. And then I have I had a lot of clients going through this program, and what they tell me is that now they see life differently. They have another vision of life, of what is possible to do in their life. So that's one point. And I really love and say, okay, I can hear your voice. So now I react completely differently when I have this conflict on, when I have this challenge coming, I react completely differently because I know my strength. I know my story. I know I am more confident and I'm stronger. So it's really one thing that they know each other far better, and that's why they are more confident. They allow themselves to see themselves the way they are, with the vulnerability, the authenticity, and the strengths coming with that. So that's one point. Another point is that they understand better what kind of life mission they have. And for some of them, we start with new projects, because what I have seen is, for me, it was, I knew I wanted to be coach because I always have been in personal development. So it was easy
for you to know that you're a coach.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do that. For you, for instance, you looked a little bit around and then you find it. There is some parents, because I really look at parents, there are some parents, they would like to change the career, but they have no clue where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they don't change, because it's really difficult to know, okay, what can I do in how, and I'm not sure. And so I help them to define the path and to know where they are good at, what kind of experience they have, how to do the bridge between what they love to do, what engage them, what energize them, and what is possible to do. Mm-hmm. And how to put that together with the family, because at the end, there's still a family at home. So that is really, so I have a lot of clients telling me, oh, I find my life mission, I find my project. Now I'm confident, I know how to develop that. So that's the second point. And then the last one is really team building at home. So
team building at home, you need to explain that.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, because it's exactly what you said. It's like we have skills, we just have to do the transfer. And what I have seen is that there is a lot of people at work doing team building all the time. And then when they are at home, they don't use the skill. Mm-hmm. And you can definitely use it, and it's going to have a double effect even. So you can do team building at home with your team, your partner, and your children. And then you can transfer the new skills, because the environment is a little bit different. You can transfer that back to work, where you can do team building at another level, a deeper level, or another one anyway. So, and it's what I teach the clients working with me. So we look at how they can empower the children, how they can give the leadership to their children.
Wow.
And to let go of perfections and stuff like that.
I think that sounds super interesting. And I mean, I can imagine that there are many, many ladies, or also men out there, that would like to have somehow an easier life at home, with like less arguing with the kids, less arguing with the partner, just everything somehow a bit smoother. And everybody has his or her own definition of what they feel is smooth. But can you give maybe an example of what could be such a team thing where all of a sudden the family works more together like a team? Can you give examples so it's a bit more understandable?
Well, like this morning, I woke up early because I did some meditation work, and at 6 o'clock I was already with the the clean. How to say that? The dishwasher, exactly. So I was already taking the dishwasher, so sorting it out. And my first son, so almost 12 years old, came and helped me with that. I didn't even ask for that. Right. I was like, wow, that's cool.
And how did you do that? I think you know the secret. You know the secret. Can you share with us the secret? Why does your 12-year-old son do that?
So I ask for help. So that's the thing. So not this morning, but usually I ask for help. I really tell them why I need them to help at home. I tell them that we are a team and I'm not the leader. We are all more or less the leader at some point. So they know that. And I include them in my success as well. So every time I have a success, I tell them, and I tell them it's because we are a team.
Wow.
And then they can feel that all the time. So like yesterday evening, I had a new client signing in my program. So I just came back down and told them, oh, I have a new client. It's great. I'm really happy to work with her. And we had a high five, and they're happy. They're happy for me. They're happy for this new client. And in the morning when they see that I'm already working at 6, something like that, they spontaneously want to help.
Wow. I'm almost getting a bit of tears in my eyes because it just sounds so nice. Really happy to hear that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think
so it's a lot of small things, it's not really complicated. It's just a lot of small things, a lot of small attention. So you have to be very present. And that's something that, again, I'm teaching, but yes. So that's and I think then when you are happy in your life, you are more present. You are more in the moment, enjoying, looking, observing, and then giving. And then they give it back.
Yes, that sounds great. Doesn't that sound like something really nice that everybody should want in life? To just be happier? And I think children actually can teach us a lot because they're not gone through all this education system that we have, and they can play innocently, be in the moment, and just be creative and play. I mean, I also have a kid. He's a bit over 2 now, and he's just the whole day playing, but he's at the same time also assessing things. He's doing little experiments with things he wants to find out, and he's just all the time learning at his speed and with different things.
Exactly.
But he's great. I couldn't teach him the stuff that he learns by himself, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges for our generation and our times, to somehow overcome the education that we still got and transform it into something where children, and I think many people out there share this, where children are not just like small beings that need to be made fit for this, but that actually they are already perfect when they are born. And how can we help them to get the best out of them, that they really do what they love and like?
I agree with you. I think when a child come, a newborn, he really have full potential, no limits at home. The mindset is like a very high mindset because the child thinks everything is possible. Yes. And then because of his experiences, because of his parents, because of the school system and the organization around, so he's losing this limitless mindset and is taking like a smaller mindset. And that's why I think that it's really important to do something like you have done, Anja, like to prepare a really nice life. So to try to free yourself as much as possible, because if you achieve that, to free yourself as much as possible, it's exactly what you are going to give to your child without thinking about it, because it's your everyday thing. So, and at one moment when your child is going to be 10 or 15 or 20, he's going to ask you a question like, oh, maybe I should do that and should do that. And then you are not going to answer with a place of fear, but you are going to answer in a place of hope, of opportunities, of freedom, and it's going to be completely different for him.
Yes, totally. And I think that's a bit what I don't want to say we owe that to our children, but this is just, for me at least, the nicest motivation to have children, to somehow pass on something, but just like really pass on the good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I personally am also a lot into personal development, because I want to get better every day, be a better person, so that I can be that role model, as you described it before, to my kids. Mm-hmm. And with this we change it, because telling a person what to do is not as powerful as leading by example.
Definitely, definitely. It's true for everything, but it's even more true for our children. So you do real estate for yourself, so you invest, and then you went into coaching as well.
Yeah.
You said that for you it was easy to understand that it was something you wanted to do, so to invest in real estate. But for some other people it's not the case, so it's not so easy. And I can tell that I had 2 apartments a few years ago, and I did that as I came in Germany, so it was in German. It's not my mother tongue, so it was everything a little bit like, oh my God, what I'm doing right now. So what are how do you help your clients?
Actually, it is, real estate is easier than most people think. And why? Just simply because out there we don't learn about it in school, and we don't learn it from our parents usually, and also university. I mean, I have a law degree, but I never really learned about real estate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just not out there, but that doesn't mean that it's difficult. It just means it's new. It's like, if you've never driven a car, driving a car is new for you. You need to learn it. If you've never eaten healthy food, you don't know about what is healthy food. You just need to learn it and start doing it. That's all. So it's not so much of a magic box that is hard and difficult. It's just like any other skill. If you don't know it, okay, you learn it. Like, I mean, people that have an academic degree, or people that did any sort of professional education that took them a few years, they have done stuff that is way more complicated than understanding real estate. So first thing, making really people understand, and also my customers, that it's not that hard, and that they are definitely in shape or able to learn it. And then, of course, there's a couple of things that you need to learn to understand, a couple of concepts about money, about investing, about how does a flat actually work, how do banks work, how do you get a financing, what's happening at the notary. These are more like practical questions. And the rest is really the big shift. And I just talked about this morning to a customer. She's happens to be a lawyer as well. So we just talked about this very thoroughly this morning, that basically this society where we are taught we need to push, we need to perform, we need to do more, and we need to work hard. This is what's ruining our lives. Yeah. And the necessary shift to understand investing is from this working hard idea, getting to a let money work for you mentality. And really to understand that basically you just need to do a couple of signatures at the notary, at the bank, and then money is working for you. And some people cannot actually cope with the fact that it's nothing to do. You've got nothing to do afterwards. It's just working for you, because this is so far away from our, you need to work hard. So sometimes people look for a problem. They're like, it cannot be that easy. Where's the problem? And then they start digging into details, just trying to find the problem. But no, it is as easy as that. And if you keep in mind that many rich people in our country, in other countries as well, they got rich because of real estate. So that's the foundation of many, many very wealthy families, also maybe centuries back already. Real estate is just simply a very conservative, but also very, very powerful type of investing.
And so I know that you invest in Germany. You don't really invest somewhere else in Europe. Why is it so? Because you could invest as well. You speak different languages. You could invest in France. You could invest in Spain.
Yeah, the point is simply that one reason why I really like investing in Germany, that you have in Germany a huge amount of the population living in a rented place. It's almost half of the population, a bit less than half, live in a rented place. That means to each rented place, there's an owner. So it's a huge market in Germany of flats. And if it's a good investment, this is just a fantastic thing, because there's so many people wanting to live somewhere. And if you compare it with other countries, for instance, Spain, I know Spain a bit because we have family there. In Spain, around 90% of the population live in a home that is their own. That means only 10% of the population live in a rented place. That means, of course, that the market is way smaller. So, and that's why it just makes sense to invest in a market that is big, because that brings also stability. Yeah.
And I have another question, because I think the people looking at us, and I know there's a few of them right now, they don't necessarily live now in Germany. Is that important to invest where you live? Where is your principal residence? Or is that we don't care about that?
That's a good question. It's a big question. It's maybe different for a couple of countries, but like as a rule of thumb, you can say, of course, it's easier to invest in your home country, because also the banks are usually in your home country. So they in the legal system that you're living in, they can reach out to you if there's a problem. That's why banks in theory love that more. But if somebody from a European country, like European Union country, wants to invest in Germany, that was definitely something to look at, because if they have a good job, they have some money on the side, they can afford it, then maybe they get interest rates that are not as good as for a German person, because the bank just puts a bit of a risk factor. But that does not mean that it's not possible. To the opposite, I would say it's definitely possible. It's just a matter of one needs to check a bit the situation and see what can be done, or maybe if a small investment can be the start and then build upon it, or so. That it's just really a matter of asking, getting there, starting, and once you ask, you know more.
Okay, great. So that means that if I would like to invest, so you help people to understand how to invest, and you lead them through the process.
Yes.
Until they have their property, right?
Yes, that's what I do. And usually that works very, very well, because within the moment they open up their mind on this whole world of investment, it is not so hard to understand once you just look at it and look at the information that is out there. And then just it happens automatically, especially, and I love watching that, especially also with my female customers. When they start understanding this, somehow the whole world gets bigger, because they start applying this stuff also for their job, or they start also doing that maybe in their business, or they get more easiness with money, with taking own decisions. They're growing in any aspect, and it's really, really nice. And sometimes even they're growing in their relationship, because they take their money topics into their own hands, and they say, look, I'm going to decide this and this and this. They make changes, they change their life. And of course that also affects the partner, but in many times it's also in a good way, and the partners are proud of them and they follow them and so on. So it's really nice to see all that.
Yeah, it's a new relationship, a new level of relationship.
Totally. And now that I said that with growing, in your case, do you work with like couples only, or can also a single, like only one parent come to you to talk to you?
No, everything is possible. So I work usually, so I have a single mom or couple. Usually I have the couple coming, or only one person, and it's most the case. Sometimes both want to improve their relationship or the communication at home, and that's why they come together. And then we look together at what kind of relationship, what kind of parenting profile they have, and so on, to look at where are the problems. So we do that really quickly, because we want things to be quick. and then we can solve the problems. But really, and that's happened a lot, that one person is not really satisfied, or is honest enough to say, I am not satisfied with the situation right now, and it has maybe something to do with me, maybe not, but I'm willing to find solutions. And then this person starts alone the journey of the transformation of herself, and then the relationship with the family, and then the whole dynamic of the family change. Because you don't really, I have a lot of clients telling me at the beginning, like, yeah, but he should change as well. So he is the problem, and it's not true.
Yes.
We all think that, but it's not true. So the other is not the problem. We are all the problem anyway. But by starting to take responsibility, by starting to look at being a better person, it's exactly what you said before, then you are going to change the synergy within your partnership and with the children and with yourself, because we have a lot of inner conflicts, and I think it's the strongest. And then everything is possible, right? And then you can invest and you can change job and you can grow, and it's like a dynamic spiral. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Yeah. And what I just saw that we're already over time. So I think we need to start finishing up. And I have a funny question for you, my dear Christelle, which is, in a nutshell or in 30 seconds, what's your most happy vision of this planet?
The happiest vision of this planet, so in the ideal world.
Yeah.
What I would love really is that there is no competition anymore. I'm really not a competition person. So it's really my mission is that everybody can feel himself, be himself, know his strength and share it. And then there is this centered, so this being centered, you know, and then when you are that, there is far less conflict. And even if there are conflicts, they are not so dramatic. And then we can give that our children. So what my mission is really that to help parents to feel free in order for the parents to help the children to feel free. So they are all happy and we are all happy. So it's just a perfect world where everybody can use his strength to do what he should do, like having a higher, bigger impact.
Wow.
That's my mission. So that's what I have in mind all the time. What about you?
Mine looks a bit similar. I also think that really the change that I want to do is to help people understanding how wonderful they are, how precious each person is, and how they are also precious inside. So if they really get to know themselves, love themselves, that there is just no other way. If you love yourself and you're happy and on peace with yourself, of course you're also nice with the others. And I think the topic of being happy and peaceful inside and then also outside, and taking a respectful way of living with this whole planet and all the other beings and nature on this planet, I think that's my vision of a happy future.
Great. So what I suggest for the people looking at this right now live or in replays, because I have seen that some of you told I'm going to listen to that later in replay. So if you feel that you would like to know more about investing in real estate in Germany or in Europe, just go to Anja. She is the right person for that. If you would like to know how eventually you would like to change career or having more harmony at home or with yourself, you can come to me and just contact us. We are everywhere. We are on LinkedIn for sure, on Facebook, we have websites. I would just suggest that you say hello. And because this small step can really help you to see things differently.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. The world will not change until you start changing. Yeah. And one call can change your life.
Yeah, exactly.
One little contact, one new step, one thing that you haven't done yesterday can give the whole start for a perfect, fantastic new development.
Yeah, exactly. So just say hello on the private chat or on the comments below, and that it's a way just to chat together, and we don't know where it goes, but it's not the most important. The most important is the small step that we do every day.
Totally.
Okay.
Fantastic, Christelle. Thanks a lot for this fantastic talk. I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too. I had my coffee, so...
And looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, we will do like that. Have a nice day.
Everybody take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.